All right, here we go with stage 1 pool play. This is round 2. It's still Team Seale. I'm still Rashad Miller, and you're still Brian David Marshall. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be watching these two national champions battle.
Yep.
Ralph Levy's come out of the gate with the mountain.
Yep, with the mountain, and Alexander Hayne out of the gates with 2 island. we got a fast one.
Yeah, it's a barn burner.
The flunkies, Mog flunkies. The buddy system.
I like that they have reminder art on Mog flunkies.
Why are there 2? Oh, and a harbor bandit for Alexander Hayne. Third mountain, and Raphael Levy is in color. You know, he isn't having any color issues. He's mono red.
He's mono red. Yeah, that's an arms dealer for Raf. You know, it was so funny when the set came out. I actually, and I played a lot of Mercadian Masks Limited. Did not remember arms dealer.
Yeah, I remember hearing that and being a little embarrassed for you as a crippling blight. One of many takes out the arms dealer.
17.
You know, sometimes you forget Mercadian.
But it wasn't. Here's the thing, though. It's a card. The reason I say that is just in the context. The card wasn't very good in Mercadian Masks. It was fine.
Not a lot of goblins to throw around.
It wasn't. There were not a ton of goblins. It wasn't like this format where arms dealer is just a first pick windmill slam.
Oh yeah. So 4th mountain for Raphael Levy, and there's Krenko's command. 2 goblins, which would have loved to give themselves. Nope. Negate. It's like Essence Scatter.
Yeah. We saw a situation yesterday where Luis Scott Vargas was holding up Essence Scatter, and his opponent played Talrand's Invocation, and he's like, ah.
Wah, wah. Good shot at Alexander Hayne, Pro Tour.
14.
Doesn't have to spend his mana to make that Mog flunky, you know, so he can make the Harbor Bandit unblockable.
Exactly. So Harbor Bandit gets in there. Levy goes down to 14. 14, 20. Alexander has favor. 3 mana gives us a Scroll Thief. Still currently unblockable. Fifth mountain for Raphael Levy. And that is a fire elemental.
Sure.
5/4 flavor text. A 5/4 flavor text.
Yeah. An italicized monster. He doesn't want Alexander Hayne running, you know, encroaching on the red zone.
So Alexander has Essence Scatter, looks like, and Swamp is that Public Execution?
Unblockable. Yeah.
So 2 mana makes
11.
the Harbor Bandit unblockable.
That falls to 11.
This is interesting because we would have thought that as we see Bloodhunter bats.
You go to 9, I go to 22.
Yep. Raphael Levy will be the aggressor here.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the Mog flunkies have been a real liability for Raph so far.
Raphael thinking about what to do.
Challenger's Fury, not especially exciting. Dragon Alert.
I did hear about it.
We've got a dragon sighting over at the Lucas Seale match. He's playing against. Lucas is playing against Dudong.
Yeah. And playing his Grixis, a little bit of everything deck.
Yeah.
And one bit of everything.
Grixis no bolus.
Yeah. Grixis no bolus with a touch of Thundermaw Hellkite.
Yeah. And the Thundermaw Hellkite is actually currently touching the red zone.
I'm sure it is. Another beautiful shot. You get to see both of the flags, see the gameplay going on. Really encompasses what type of event we're actually watching.
Yeah. Harbor Bandit, Timber, Flinthoof Boar, all those cards really provide some sort of geographic boundaries when you're building your Team Seale decks. You're like, well, I really want to get this guy.
Right.
I really want this Arctic Haven.
And maybe even some splash efforts going in. All right, so it looks like Flunky's finally found a buddy and is going to attack. Mog Flunkies and Fire Elemental in the red zone.
No blocks. 8.
No blocks?
14.
So it looks like Alexander Hayne's going to take 8 and go down to 14. So 14-9, Hayne's favor. 5 mana gives us a turn to Slag to get rid of the Harbor Bandit.
Go ahead.
Another land for Alexander Hayne. He's just sitting on
Cards
the
two.
Essence Scatter right now.
It's to attack for 3, draw a card.
Attacks.
6.
I'll draw a card.
Yeah.
Sounds like the dragon bit the dust.
Oh no.
Yeah, Vampire Nighthawk spoiling everyone's rare fun since 2008.
Yeah. Like, wow, that's really nice. You see, like the Willy Wonka. So tell me about that bomb rare you opened. Must be really nice for you.
So in for 3 with the bat and the thief. Draws a card. Looks like it is a something.
It looked like he drew a land. He's
Yep,
thinking
a
about
swap.
whether or not he wants to Essence Strain that. Raph just putting the young pup in his place.
This zone has won.
This zone is my lawn.
Don't step on it.
I am Clint Eastwood.
Alex is really thinking about this play. Down
Yep.
comes an island and a passive return. Raphael has another Mog Funkies in his hand, so.
The Mog Funkies won't be able to.
Attack step.
Yep.
So in goes Mog Funkies.
Take 8,
and
go to 6.
The Elemental again. Brings Alexander Hayne down to 6. So now 6/6, and there's the second Mog Funkies.
Go.
And this is why Alexander Hayne didn't play the Essence Strain. I mean, he didn't know what the creature would be, but he can.
Yep.
Attacks past it.
3.
And
I draw a card.
that should be game. Yeah.
Draw a card. Raphael Levy is at 3, so Essence Strain
Strain.
is going to go to Raphael Levy's life total, and that's going to be game 1 for Canada. Alexander Haynes up 1-0
Yeah.
versus
Big.
Raphael Levy.
He's like, nice lawn you got there, old man, but I'm gonna, take this bag and light it on fire on your stoop.
So I think now we're going to casually swoop over to another game in progress.
You win that, Alex?
Yep.
It's going to be
How's your game
Lucas
looking?
Seale
We're on the edge.
in the C seat, in the A seat.
Oh, in the A seat.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lucas Seale is
So
in
that's
the
against
A seat.
Dudong.
He's playing against Johan Dudong.
There we see. And as we know, a Thundermore Hellkite and a Vampire Nighthawk had a mid-air collision earlier in the match.
And there was an
Early in the game.
explosion,
Yeah.
and dust settled, and
you
the
gotta
air
get a good
cleared.
look at it.
24? No, 3. Mark, we're getting a
So
split
it
here.
feels like there's some spell
This is
on
the
the
split.
stack right now.
Oh, Sphinx is resolving for.
I'm thinking take the rise.
Yeah, you take the
I haven't played a
rise.
land this turn.
Take the rise and steal his
Yeah,
Nighthawk, or
Sphinx
take
said
the.
the Athun.
Yeah.
That was a bomb we missed when we were glancing through Lucas Seale's
Yeah.
deck.
So he takes the 1 pile for the Fact or Fiction, takes the rise from the grave, which can get him back his Thundermore Hellkite, can steal a Vampire
Yes,
Nighthawk. Should he be in tough shape? Dudong's stuck here on 3 lands, so he's fighting valiantly. I mean, Seale's at 3.
And has just made a very powerful play. And right now in play as their Archaeomancer, Harbor Bandit, and the Sphinx of Athun that we were just mentioning. While Johan Dudong has a Crinkle Command token, a Chronomaton, and a Kraken hatchling.
Yeah, because that's got to be a switcheroo there.
A switcheroo.
So
okay.
that's right, because the Harbor Bandit would clearly be in Alexander Haynes' deck.
Yeah.
That is actually the French player's Harbor Bandit, standing there on the side of.
Keen eye,
Canadian
Mr.
player.
Brian David Marshall.
So murder the Sphinx, untap. Looks like there's a Sphinx in the French player's hand as well.
A
But
little short from casting it.
He's
a little ways away.
he's got a few turns here.
So in comes the Chronomaton.
A 4/4.
Contemplating the double block.
He can't take the hit.
Mark. Should I double block?
He's asking the
He
team.
has to
Just
double
use the
block,
murder.
doesn't he?
Well,
I mean, what's he gonna do if he has a murder? He's gonna chump block
I feel
and then
like
get
double
one of his
blocking's
guys.
not correct, but Maybe it is. 3.
They're
I have
actually
to block.
considering chump blocking. Maybe you get a second block out of the deal.
But if he has a murder, then he can just murder your other guy, and you don't get a second block out of the deal anyway. It's almost the same result.
Cards in hand?
4.
And he just played a murder.
Right. A double block would mean losing both creatures, but also.
No, he'd only lose one. It's a 3/3 Harbor Bandit and a 1/2.
Yeah, right.
So he's going to keep his Archaeomancer.
Just wanted to check with you.
Harbor Bandit goes to the other graveyard there, buddy.
Yeah, the Harbor Bandit does actually go to the other graveyard.
Oh, sorry.
That could have been a little disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, and Team Canada's already had a mishap
Yeah.
last
question is-
round on the deck registration side.
Right. I believe that
The question is, do I get a Sphinx?
was
Jamie
Jamie.
Blanchet's
Yeah,
deck.
Jamie Blanchet misregistered his deck.
If he has
39
Essence
cards
Drain,
instead of the 40 that he needs to play.
but I'm going to be dead to it before I can kill him.
Sounds
Kill
like there's
me?
a mulligan to 6 over in the Levy.
So doesn't that mean get the
match.
Nighthawk?
Monocolor. Is that big of a deal? When you're the monocolor deck?
No, yeah, you can mulligan. He can mulligan pretty. Well, the thing is, he doesn't have a lot of big creatures, so
Right.
you know, you're looking for a critical mass of those smaller creatures. So, all right, so we're going to see a rise from the grave. He's arguing about what he should rise.
Yep, that's a 5 mana.
I mean, maybe you just rise your Sphinx again.
And get another, and get some more cards out of it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm taking your advice here.
My
Is that-
advice? You can hear me?
Remember?
Why? Yeah, but I'll
So
be
it's
dead
your
eventually.
fault if this doesn't work out, Brian
Oh,
David
no.
Marshall. And there's the Sphinx of Bethune. Now it's a zombie. And it's blue and black. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Vile Rebirth in response. This is game 1. A game 1 Vile Rebirth?
May I get the zombie?
Yep.
Explain. I don't know what that card does, Brian David Marshall.
So it's an instant for 1 black. Remove target creature in a graveyard from the
Nope.
game, exile it, and put a 2/2 zombie into play. That's it's kind of a big deal.
Definitely was a big deal right there. I'm sure Lucas Seale did not see that one coming.
Attacks with game 1 certainly not. Attack with the 2/2, and now he gets a Searing Spear
gets a Searing
in the
Spear.
process.
I don't think so.
4th
There's an
mana,
Archaeomancer. Wow. Get back in
Essence
his
Drain, tick tock.
Cards in hand?
That's going to be game if he gets to untap here. Oh,
Mind
Rot.
Whoa! Discards the Essence Drain and whatever else
Go.
we had. It was another Sphinx, right? The Sphinx of the
Yeah, it was the Sphinx of the yeah. Wow.
Got a secret card.
And
there.
Mind Rot's one of those cards. You have so many cards in this team sealed.
Yeah.
Mind Rot's a hard card to play. Just because you're like, I have this many spells, this many creatures, this many removals. Like, Mind Rot's hard to
It's
play.
like a real conscious decision to get it in your deck.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. You actively have to decide
Rummaging
you want
Goblin.
that card there. Oh, Rummaging Goblin. That's
Essence Scattered. That's what we drew, because I think that Johan knows that Lucas may be able to hear us, so he didn't want to show us the Essence Scatter. And there's a stuffy doll. I wonder who he chooses.
Could he choose one of the other teammates? He's like, Alexander needs some help. I'm going to target Levy.
The unhinged version of that doll. I'm sure you can. Agent of Bolus. Oh, Arger of Bolus.
He's got a whiff on 3 lands.
Is that really a whiff, though?
23?
It's a whiff, but
Sure.
3 land you don't drop, right?
Go.
So over on the back table, which we haven't had a chance to take a look at yet, Sobrier is down a game against Jamie Blanchet.
See a divination from Dudong.
Go.
There's a mountain and a pass from Alexander Hayne. Untapped from Johan. Draws a card, doesn't even look at it yet, wants to see the graveyard first.
Oh,
He's got to rise from the grave as well.
I think we're going to see Spell Twine. What does that cost?
I think it costs 6. That is a Spell Twine.
Incinerate Essence Drain on you.
Whoa,
That's
Essence
what
Drain
gets
on you and something
Incinerate
else.
Essence
Yep, and that's
Wow. Spell twine for the win.
Sweet. Johan Dudong takes that game
No,
by spell twining the Essence Drain
And a Searing
and a Searing Sphere, just in case.
Just in case he was going to gain 3 life somehow.
We'll do all that.
Well, you have to have 2 targets, though.
Well, that is true. I mean, I have seen games where, you know, players have the opportunity to do exact damage or more than exact damage.
We're back over on
Yeah, we're going to go. You're going to go back to look at
Alexander Hayne and Ralph Levy and Table B.
Yeah, because I didn't get enough of watching those guys. I don't know if you did or not.
Wow. See a walking corpse from Alexander Hayne trying to hold off an army of Torch Fiend, Mog Flunkies, and Firewing Phoenix.
Which is a 4-2 in this game, and not a 4-1 like in Duels of the Planeswalkers. So it looks like it's tied at 11, the life totals, and there's a Crippling Blight. It's going to take out the Torch Fiend. Island gives him the 4th mana for a Bloodhunter bat.
You go to 9, I go to 13.
Breaks the tie. We need to break that tie.
Yeah. And it's big, right? I mean, it's also going to trade with the Phoenix.
Raphael has a couple of Chandra Furies in his hand.
Yeah. Which are really kind of very lava-axy in this situation. It seems like they're only going to do 4. There's a Reckless Brute.
Oh. Whoa, we're getting crazy.
He's got to block the Phoenix, take 6.
Yep. And that's exactly what happens. He's blocking the Phoenix. He takes 6. That's going to bring Alexander Hayne down to 7.
Good.
Draws a swamp, so we're still working with the 3 cards we had in our hand earlier.
Do any of them kill a Reckless Brute? Because that buys them a little time.
You have a Shimmyin, Spectre, Essence Drain. Yeah, he has Essence Drain. He has Duty Bound Dead.
I'm at 7, he's at 9.
And Fairy Invaders. So there's some options over there.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is my line. This.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of discussion between these 2 players. We have Alexander Hayne.
I guess he can.
Is it 9?
Yeah.
Mark Anderson.
And Mark Anderson. Yeah.
That's the plan. The other options like this.
Well, he has the Phoenix, right?
Yeah, he's got the Phoenix.
I like yours. First one.
Plays Duty Bound Dead.
Attack.
Attacks for 3.
6.
Plays a land, and now he has.
Life total 7 to 6.
Right.
Canada's favor.
So he can regenerate the Duty Bound Dead.
Good.
And just take 3 here.
Looks like that's what.
But he doesn't know that there's
5 mana for Fairy Invaders.
The other one?
But the Chandra Fury cannot be cast. It's 5 mana, and Ralph only has 4, so. But he has to respect that something like that could be in his future.
Exactly. Alexander Hayne has a lot of options.
I think
in
you're
his
right.
hand. Well, he has a couple of options, 1 in hand and 1 on the board, and he's thinking about them both.
Kill him next turn if he doesn't have a.
I know.
The stage right. He can hear you.
Yeah, hey, I heard you loud and clear, so. So a block with the Duty Bound Dead on the Mog.
So he might not regenerate here, though.
He might not.
I don't think I regen.
He said it right there. He's not going to regenerate. So obviously, Raphael Levy knows some spell is happening.
And Minotaur, and this is going to go to Alexander Hayne. He's going to untap. He's going to attack for 3.
For 4? Oh, no, for 3. For 3.
And then Essence Drain for the win again. And Raph shows him the 2 Chandra Furies. If either of those had been a mountain, he would have won.
Hayne and the big sigh of relief. Congratulations to Mr. Hayne, he just won that. He
You
just got a
saw
point
it,
for the country.
Yeah, you saw all the different lines that Alexander had to take there. I mean, you know, different ways he could have done it. He could have mastered the creature. He could have regenerated and then attacked for 3.
So we kept.
So it looks like we're going to go back to the Seale Dudong match to see what has happened.
I like that our cameramen are getting a little bit of a workout today.
Oh yeah, you know what? They love it. I'm sure they love their jobs, and just like Alexander Hayne loves being on camera right now.
That was the danger of my line. But that was the danger of
Now,
taking
how
my
fast
line.
does Alexander Hayne come to that line of play if Mark Anderson isn't there helping him?
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure. I mean, you know, arguably faster. He doesn't have to justify it, right?
There's a bunch of counter target creatures.
No, he doesn't have to justify what he's like.
What do I care about?
Yeah, when
this
it's
guy?
individual play, you can do it. You can make the play, and if you lose, then you're only letting yourself down.
Right. And really, it's not like you are. It's almost like you're asking permission. Should I do this play?
That's a great.
For us.
Right. Asking for permission more than advice sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we go. We are at the Lucas Seale and Johan Dudong match, and we have a Vidalcan Entrancer.
Yep. Versus Nighthawk. Lucas playing Grixis No Bolus.
1622.
But we have other bombs.
He does. He does.
Grixis No Bolus, but Thundermaw and Sphinx of Bethune.
Cool.
And a Water Curse on his board. Draw for Lucas. They could do a swap to go along with this other 3-land Archaeomaster Master and negate.
And it has to be this, right?
I was thinking Archaeomancer, Searing Spear, that stupid Nighthawk.
Right. So down goes Archaeomaster. Only one target, which is a Searing Spear. 2 mana left.
Like, oh, you want to Vile Rebirth this?
I believe Rebirth may only target creatures.
I know. It does. He was saying it sarcastically.
Oh. I don't see Lucas Seale doing a lot of sarcastic
What do you
saying.
think?
Pass.
Okay, maybe.
So now he's like, do I main phase kill that or and risk a negate?
Looks like we're going for the do it on your turn, Lucas Seale says as he passes.
There is a negate in Dunyang's hand.
7th land for Dunyang.
Which means he can cast his Sphinx.
16.
Life
Lucas
total
Seale is
16-22.
already down 1-0 here.
He is, and this is, oh no, this would tie it up
No blocks.
for,
Alexander Hayne has been
Perfect.
victorious.
right.
Jamie Blanchet is playing.
They're
playing
currently in game 2.
in game 2.
And Blanchet is up that's up 1.
Right. We get a Divination.
Crippling Blight, and I didn't see what the other black card was.
Looks like Crippling Blight and Murder.
And Murder. And the Enchancer activates and targets. 2 cards go from Dudong Young's library to the graveyard. Deck damage, if you would.
Yes, deck damage. I would not call it that. Although I do enjoy a little deck damage. That hand is
Yeah,
spicy.
we're looking at Dudong Young's hand, and it's very good. Murder, Sphinx of Bethune, Negate,
Yeah, it's just all stars.
Clone, Essence Drain,
Pourquoi est-ce que
Crippling
je
Blight.
devais regarder ça? Ok.
So now usually in a lot of these World Magic Cup matchups, you have 2 teams that most likely have a language that the other doesn't speak. If you're the French team,
Bien sûr. Ouais.
do you speak in French against
Yeah.
across from the Canadian team,
Yeah.
just in case that maybe they don't speak French? I mean, it's like a 50-50.
SYA.
I always thought that Pig Latin would be a wonderful language to use for the American team.
Oh no, that's true. It would be.
I've always thought that as a crippling blight goes on the enchant, the enchancer.
So it can't block.
No blocks.
Yeah.
No blocks.
Like, what do you
No
want me to
blocks.
Just
It's, I think I want to kill that one.
And there's that Syrian Spear. We've been holding on to it for a while in response to the pump.
sure.
Targeted water crystal. Now Dudong does have a negate in his hand, so he's considering.
Yep. Save his guy with negate. Now Lucas has a negate of his own. Is he going to double negative?
That's probably his only pressure if he's doing this, right?
Yeah, he's saying he's actually asking his team. This is probably the best thing to do. If this is only pressure, let's go for it.
Yeah. 12,
So
26.
Nighthawk gets through. Sends Lucas down to 12. Sends Johan up to 26.
Yep.
And Transfer still can use the ability.
Yep.
Ouais. C'est un peu mal de devoir gâcher deux cartes quand même.
Now they are actually able
even
to
bother?
move their seats if they want, correct?
He has Chromaton, Harbor Bandit, but he obviously doesn't have them in his hand. So I think it's worth it, right?
Après, il a le L-Kite et le 5-5-6.
So turn the slack on the Vampire Nighthawk.
Je fais le Sphinx là.
Little does he
Go.
know that there's a
Ouais.
Sphinx, Sphinx 5/6, right? So it doesn't even matter.
16.
Cards?
16.
I believe it is
16.
5/6.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It
Wait.
sounds like we're going to flip away from this game.
yeah,
it's
we
I don't
interrupt
wanna
this
do that.
game
Breaking news.
with breaking news. This other game could end the match, so we're going to jump over to the Jamie Blanchet versus Stefan Sobrier match to see if this is actually going to win it. Sobrier, I'm sorry. See if this actually wins this for Team Canada.
Go.
And we see Arbor Elves on each side of the table, Timber Pack Wolves, and a Deadly Recluse.
And Forest and Plains. This looks really mirror matchy. In goes the Recluse.
For sure. Block it.
Looks like Sobrier has a Titanic growth along with white card I couldn't quite
How many
get a
cards?
look at yet.
11. You have 2 cards, I have 2.
This is just game 2, right?
Five
This
black
is
and
just
a-
Kane 2, and Jamie is up
Okay, no blocks.
again.
10.
10, no problem.
I thought you were at lower.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a surprised elephant. I know it's prized elephant, but.
So, prized elephant.
What?
Oh, look at that Rancor and that
What did he say?
Oblivion ring.
I think I
And the other green card underneath his thumb.
am at 10, so
Oh, Prey Upon.
Okay.
Life totals 10 to 22.
One card in the French player's
Yeah.
hand. Fistful for the Canadian.
That one card being Titanic
Ring
growth.
card or wolf
Yeah.
or ring the elephant.
So that prey upon could be quite the unexpected surprise.
Can't
For the
have a
Canadian
4 for
player.
transport.
Yes. He probably will not see it coming. Although there are 2 mana. I did, there was some discussion over there between Mark Anderson and Jamie Blanchet, but I didn't hear Titanic growth as one of those words.
Yeah, he's like, all right.
So,
ring that.
yep, Oblivion Ring on the prize elephant, that gets rid of that problem. Rancor on the Timber Pack Wolf.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
Attack.
take-
Yep, it's a 4-2
18.
Traveler right now.
Go.
Life totals 10 to 18.
I dreamed of that.
Good card? Yeah.
It's the best card.
And
Yeah.
apparently you drew the best card, Staff of Nim.
Nin. Oh
Sure,
my. Gotta get him for 2.
8.
Ooh. I don't know if you heard somebody say, he's like, I dream of this card.
I mean, I dream of different cards than
Yeah,
that, but that's,
sure, but I'm not-
this one's pretty dreamy. You guys can read it up there. It's a personal, personal
It's like a
hologram.
planeswalker that lets you do 2 things, 2
14,
different
8.
abilities a
Yeah,
turn.
14.
yeah, that's exactly how it feels. You get to draw a card every turn and deal 1 damage to a creature of play.
It's like Chandra and Jace had a beautiful baby.
So Preyapon takes out the
Sure.
Arbor Elf
Sure.
with the Timber Pack Wolf and attacks and gets Stefan down to, is that 14
7.
on that attack? I think he might be. So 7 to 14 thanks to the ping from the Deadly Recluse. And
Pretty
there's a
good
second
draws
prize
there.
He's drawing 2 cards a turn. You can't complain.
Forest Plains for Jamie Blanchet.
Well, I guess it's okay. You can
Yep.
complain.
You get to complain.
Right,
but,
6.
you know,
6.
Jamie's down to
Sure.
6.
Sure.
And there is a pacifism, freshly drawn.
Good.
In for 1, 2,
Hold on.
3, 4, 5.
2, 4,
5.
5.
It's
Not
got
1.
It's got a 1, and
Yeah.
Stefan's going to finish it off. So
Whoa.
I believe that ties it up between Jamie Blanchet and Stefan
Yep.
Sobrier.
Yep.
So those guys are tied up, and I think we're going to go back to the Lucas Seale, Johan Dudong match, because that's a match that could actually decide this this round for Team
There you are
Canada.
now.
If Lucas gets to win, then
Yeah,
Team
partout.
Canada wins the round.
So, but he is on the wrong end of a Sphinx.
Which probably drew a bunch of cards.
And is the clone a copy of the Sphinx as well?
I really hope so, but we will get confirmation. In my heart right now, I'm going to say that it is because that's what I want it to be.
I think this is good.
No, I guess
But it's not attacking, so maybe not.
I guess not. Maybe it's a stuffy doll.
Yeah, I think.
I think one of these.
Yeah, this one might be quick. Canada was at 2, and then the Blood Hunter
And I figure the only way I'm winning
comes
is if he
down,
doesn't do that.
takes the last
Okay,
2.
so that's what's the match?
Definitely
That does
countering.
split the match. So we
Right.
have a very pressure-heavy match.
Hayne
that's
down,
left.
Seale up. I'm sorry, Seale down, Hayne up, and now Blanchet and Sobrier for.
This one card was
The
quite good
match.
at game 1.
This is for the match.
I lost a
So let's
vial
look at
reverse
these
game
decks.
one.
It was an idea
Green,
of
white on
Rafael
green,
Levy.
white.
It
was
is
like,
green,
no, it's
white
pretty bad,
on
and
green,
finally-
white, and I have Jamie's deck right here. A couple of Battlefly Eagles. We got a Griffin Protector, a couple of Oblivion Rings. Sarah Angel got some beef there. 3 Timber Pack Wolves, so we only saw one of them. We got a couple of Spiked Bailoffs, 2 Prey
Click on
Upon,
the plate. This
and
is
a couple of Yevas Force Mages, and some mana accelerations here and there.
Sobrier's got the Staff of Nin that we saw. You know, a couple of Divine Verdicts,
switching to
2
four.
pacifisms, 2 prized elephants,
good.
a big reason to be in white green. An Arbor Elf, Rancor 2. So pretty big game here.
Hey, pressure's on me.
Dak Faden is the greatest thief in the multiverse. Follow his adventures in the Magic the Gathering comic produced by IDW. A special promo card unique to the IDW comic series comes in each issue. Find out more about these comics at wizards.com/magicmerchandise.
Three Elvish Visionaries in Sobrier's deck.
I like it.
Only 1 Arbor Elf, 2 Deadly Recluse. So really, he's just like drawing cards, holding the ground. He's got, you know, a fair amount of green-white removal.
So, I mean, we have 2 green-white decks here. How different are these strategies? Are we seeing where one deck is going to be the aggressor and the other one's going to be the control deck?
It looks to me that Sobrier's got, you know, basically more fatties. I mean, he's got the 2 prized elephants.
And we have the triple Timber Pack Wolf Rancor deck.
We got double Rancor here, too.
Oh, we have double Rancor. Wow.
Yeah.
Put this in.
So it can actually come to a traditional grind.
Right.
That green-white.
So
decks have
something to keep in mind is Jamie Blanchet can go a different route. They can sideboard. He has in his sideboard
But we have lots of
4
thieves.
copies of Captain's Call.
Wow.
4 and 4 copies
that's
of,
I
I
want
believe,
Idiot to put this
War
over.
Falcon.
Yeah, and he has a second Griffin
Over this.
protector as
And
well.
yeah, so he can actually just go this kind of like bird soldier deck that comes out of the gate really fast
Put him at the front.
and
Keep going, keep going.
really,
And
you
yeah.
know,
I have to think that this is deliberate, where these are the cards that were put
Yeah,
in this
2 thieves.
sideboard.
We
Sure.
have 2 thieves.
well, there was a time I was watching the Canadian team build, and there was a time that the deck was looking to be the 2 Battleflight Eagles, several Bloodthrone Vampires, all the Captain's Calls, and the War Falcons.
Oh,
It's gonna be a lot of.
He's like, send my Battleflight Eagle to
yeah.
the air. I mean, send my Bloodthrone Vampire to the air,
Yeah,
plus
sure.
2/2,
That
stack
definitely-
everything.
That definitely sounds like a very exciting deck.
I would have played that deck, but I guess maybe they felt like they needed the black cards elsewhere.
Probably. I could definitely see that. And a lot of those black cards did end up in Alexander Hayne's
All
deck.
the
so.
pressure of Canada's on my shoulder. Don't worry, I'm
And
not stressed out.
if you watched our coverage from Pro Tour, was that Pro Tour Barcelona with what was the format? Pro Tour Barcelona. That was Everson Restored.
Everson Restored,
with
Innistrad Block Constructor.
Innistrad Block Constructor. You may have been reminded even there, during some of our coverage of the 3 minutes to sideboard,
Yeah.
shuffle, and present rule. And our players here were reminded this as well. And
There we get a great shot of the entire French team just
they are ready to
lurking over
yes.
his shoulder.
Like, you have to beat all 4
Look
of
at
us.
that! Look at that look on Ref Levy's face. Look at it.
Did you see the peak? Did you see
He's like,
that?
he's like, I know you're watching me,
Yeah.
BDM.
I'll be on the play.
There are 16 minutes left here.
That's a lot of time. That is a lot of
So
time.
do we know how much surgery Jamie did on his deck there? Did he go to the? He only did 2 cards, so I guess he
Yeah.
didn't. I guess he did not go as deep as trying to come up with the aggressive Warhawk.
Yeah, is that something that you would like pre-prepare? Maybe even sleeve those decks just in case you have
would've.
the second deck.
I would certainly consider it like I just need. This is the only way I'm going to win.
Yeah, it looks like Jamie's going to take a mulligan. I believe that's his first. He's going to 6.
Car Young Tom from Team Mana Deprived, sort of the patron saint of Canadian Magic, is home in
But the
Canada
games are
right
long.
now, pulling the hair out of his head. he is dying here as
But
Jamie
he's got
goes
team one,
down to 6
2-land,
in the
4-5
deciding game
landers.
of this match
And
between
we
Canada and
will
France.
lose, but
If
was
Canada
tight.
loses this match,
until this time.
They are essentially
they're going to need.
a lot of help.
They're going to really need a lot of help. They're going to need one team in this pod to 3-0, probably France, since they'll be 2-0, and they're going to need every other team in the pod to be at 1-2.
Wow.
In which case they would advance.
That's
so
quite a
they're
bit
not
to ask
eliminated
for.
with a loss here, but they are in terrible shape if Jamie loses this match.
What kind of shape are they in if they win this match?
They're
the,
locked.
The
they're
best
locked.
shape,
They're
right?
locked.
2-2-1. They
Yeah,
win.
yeah.
They
They
get
can't.
the
They can't
tiebreakers.
miss.
So that's even a lot of additional pressure. I wonder. I know that the team's thinking about that, but hopefully that's not what's prevalent in Jamie's mind right now, and he's able to concentrate on the game.
There you get a great look at Team Canada. Lucas Seale in the back, the shaggy uncut hair of Alexander Hayne to your right, Mark Anderson, and of course Jamie
The thinker,
Blanchet
Mark the Thinker Anderson, in
doing
the
his
middle.
best Samuela Estrada impersonation.
They can't see me put my finger on my beard, so I have to go.
Okay.
Yep. So we're
Both
both looking
players
at
are on
6. So that's fair.
Keep.
There's a keep from Jamie, and a keep from Stefan. So here we go.
But that's not a.
Go.
Jamie is really relying on the top of his deck here.
Yep, as he plays a Deadly Recluse. And Stefan is going to tap 2 mana and play an Elvish Visionary. Is there no third land?
Swing, yeah, sure.
Well, attack
Okay.
first with the Deadly Recluse.
Yeah.
And there is a forest.
Go.
3 land, no play, just pass after the attack with the Deadly Recluse. Third land for Stefan. And
Sure.
you have a Force Mage.
Yeah, bash for 3.
Sure. 17.
How do you feel about an Elvish Visionary attacking for 3?
By
By the way, you can't see this at home, but Rashad is beaming.
I like it. It's, you know what? It's the team. That's an elf shaman over there too. I know all the elves.
Spike Baloth comes down. 4-2 tramps.
Ooh, that's pretty sexy. So there's a 4th land for Stefan. He had another Elfish Visionary. I didn't quite see the rest of it. Like a Deadly Recluse.
Boy, does his deck want a Roaring Paradox.
Oh, it's you know, I actually looked for it when
I did too.
I saw the Force Mages and the Elvish Visionaries, but there was none to be seen.
Instead, he has to content himself with 3 Titanic Growths.
Yeah, and a Divine Verdict, which is in his hand right now. Attack with the Force Mage. There's no blocks.
I take.
So that's gonna take Jamie down to 15. It's gonna be 15-19 in Stefan's favor. There's a second Visionary.
Sure.
Draws himself a land, passes the turn. Jamie thinking about things. Just a second. Amazingly, there hasn't been a lot of interaction with the other teams. It's now we see Mark Anderson whispering and Jamie Blanchet's ear, but there hasn't been a lot of intervening or question asking at this point. Are we not at that point of the game yet? The can I do this? The mother may I portion.
Right. Permission/advice section. So Acidic Slime comes down and takes out the Sun Petal Growth.
Oh, that's actually pretty key because that was the only white source.
Both players mulligan to 6. He's maybe hoping Sobrier kept a land light hand. Oh,
yeah, Blanchet does have Predator's Rampage. Predatory Rampage.
Ah, the fixed overrun.
The fixed overrun.
It always felt like pretty much of a fix whenever someone played overrun.
So in goes the Force Mage and the Deadly Recluse.
There's a lot of death touch going on here.
Take. No block?
No blocks. It looks like that Jamie's going to take 3.
I'll go with the team.
Jamie draws a plane, so he's sitting on 2 land and an Oblivion Ring. Nothing worth Oblivion Ring out there yet, Brian? What do you think?
Not especially. I mean, if he hits it, I mean,
just nothing.
Just
it's
nothing.
not worth it.
Yeah.
So in goes the Acidic Slime. Down goes the second planes, and it's probably going to be a pass of the turn.
I think I go.
Did we draw another white source yet?
Another white card.
Another white card. Not sure what it is yet. And then there's some discussion.
To be double safe, the French team is speaking in pig French.
there's pig French. So Safe Passage was the card that was picked up by Stefan Sobrier.
Good man.
Same attack as left.
Or Ifan stay.
Deadly Recluse is going to probably step in the way of...
Maybe the Deadly Recluse.
Yeah. Trade Deadly Recluses.
Block.
Jamie offers.
Trade. Take 2.
There we go.
With a little sound effect.
I think that's the Death Touch on Death Touch sound.
Yeah.
Because you have to kind of pull them apart.
Yeah.
To get them to their appropriate graveyards. So Jamie goes down to 10. So it's 10-17.
So there's got to be some temptation to Oblivion Ring and Elvish Visionary and just get in for 6. But
I think
you can't feel good about it.
Well,
you know there's prized elephants. You know there's a staff in there.
and you know there's 3 of your teammates sitting behind you that
Right.
would see you do it. And goes the acidic slide. Still no blocks. Just trying to get one of those Elvish Visionaries out the way. It just won't go anywhere. Still no planes. Got a second Titanic growth.
So, I mean, 8, 10, that's 12. That's.
You know,
No block.
attack, no block.
8.
He's got 2 Titanic growths. He kills him here with
Yeah.
that. But
That
I guess
would-
he's got to respect Divine Verdict.
Right.
He's got to respect Safe Passage.
Right. And he's looking at both of those cards in his hand, so
Right.
they could be over there. So Jamie drew. Didn't quite see it, but we're gonna attack with the acidic slide. It might have been a second Oblivion ring.
Moi, ça me paraît bien. Hein. Je pense que quand j'aurai pêché mon blanc, je pense que la partie sera terminée.
Have we gotten to the Let's Oblivion Ring and Elvish Visionary stage of this game yet?
I think you know it's almost like you know there were 3 unanimous no's over there, and then it's like they're like one guy's like maybe it's time. It's kind of like you know the the dentist choosing the gum. You're like you know what I'm full. I'm in. Let's do it.
And it looks like he's thinking about it. He's touching that mana. Yep. Nope.
Nope. We're attacking.
Okay.
13.
Can't do it.
8. Yeah.
Oh, it was just the planes that was picked
Yep.
up. So now Jamie's hand is just Force Oblivion Ring. It's fine. It's
J'attaque et j'essaie de.
Drew a forest.
terminer le temps,
still no planes for either of his white spells. But how effective are those white spells?
La
If,
plus 3, plus
if
3, toutes ces
Stefan has a planes in play right now, how different is this game?
Very. I mean, he really, you know, he can't lose to a pump spell. He gets to, you know, he has the Safe Passage as an emergency. He gets to, you know, kill an attacker. I mean, he's in great shape then. Yeah, he can take a little bit more of a risk. He can be like, oh, let's see if I kill you with this Titanic Growth. If not, I'm not dead on the crack back.
Stefan drew staff of it. He's looking at it. He was looking at it in his hand.
He's got the 6th land.
Je peux attaquer juste avec 2 hein, si je le safe. Hein.
Is that
Huh?
French for should I
Some
play
luck
both my Titanic Growths on one of these guys?
Pas mal.
Maybe, yeah. But like at that,
On avisera en fonction de ce qu'il fait.
You're at 8.
So now we're attacking with the Elvish Visionary and the Force Mage. Now you're Jamie. What just changed? What's different? What's going on?
I mean, he's got to respect that there's a Titanic Growth in his future here.
Ouais, c'est pour ça. Je meurs pas et.
He doesn't have a great block though. If there's a Titanic Growth, he puts it in front of the Visionary and you know hopes for the best.
I can see that.
But you know, is he put him on 2 Titanic Growths?
Depends on how many you've seen so far in this match.
Yeah.
The think tank
No block,
consult.
No blocks. No blocks.
No blocks
Not
is
blocks.
think tank. Pick up the pen, put it back down.
Alexander Hayne has a look on his face like, yeah, this is gonna end terribly.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what just happened. I have a bad feeling. My gut is telling me
Comme ça, je peux ça.
something's awry.
Ok, fait. You go to 5.
It's like, what?
Oh. Again, that white mana.
So Jamie goes to 5. Staff's going to come down. So now he's at 4, effectively. If, you know, Stefan so chooses.
Well, you know, I mean, it's interesting, right? If that had been a predatory rampage, 7.
Don't worry about this. De falling, je pense. Guess. Sure. I think I swing with the bullet after. After. Don't worry.
He's going to take out the staff with the Oblivion Ring.
Yeah, sure. You go to
There's still 4 mana available for
You go to 12.
Jamie Blanchet. He's holding on to 3 lands, so
Ou alors je mets ça
signal a
sur
lot of
He's
things.
deciding what he's casting,
ça change la
what he's
cuisine,
activating the staff
c'est
in
normal.
on. He's like, do I want to do it to
change
one
ça
of
fait-
your creatures so that I can put my Elvis Visionary
En fait,
in the
l'idée,
way
c'est que
and
ça peut
finish
le
it off?
dissuader
Right.
d'attaquer. Parce que j'ai envie de le dissuader d'attaquer. Donc j'ai pas là.
Or, you know, 1 more damage to Jamie's life
On y va.
total,
On y va.
Sure.
which is the decision.
Right.
Now it's 4 to 13.
Take.
You're on 9?
Attack
Yep.
with the 4-2. It's going to
Sur
bring
mon blanc,
Stefan
je
down
vais
to
sur le
9.
c'est parti, ça.
How many cards you have?
Je pense qu'il y a très tout.
Jamie discussing the best strategic play for his 3 forest hand.
Should I stack my land this way or this way?
Go.
But says, again, still representing that he can have Divine Verdict, still representing that he can have Safe Passage.
Est-ce que ça me tue là?
So I see 2 Titanic Growths. Is that 3 Titanic
Yeah.
Growths? Did we draw the 3rd?
Je pense vraiment qu'il y a rien. Je suis à 9. Ah, s'il a un boost, je meurs, mais si. C'est de la gagne.
Little brinksmanship here from the Canadian team.
En fait, je meurs s'il a ça. S'il a quoi que ce soit d'autre, j'ai gagné.
All 3 Titanic Growths are in the French player's hand. An extra 12 damage. He only needs to deal 4.
Right there, and there are 3 creatures in play, Titanic Growth for each, and 6 mana. Everybody gets a Titanic Growth.
It's like how, but you know, he's not really. He knows how he could win this game.
Mm-hmm.
What he's trying to figure out right here is how he doesn't lose this game. How could I lose this game? What could happen? What's the worst thing that could possibly happen at this point for me and make Raph Levy punch me in my kidney?
And you know, that's what the discussion is right there. And you have 4 minds going at it. You know, going through the index of Magic cards that are available in this format to see what could spoil our this wonderful plan. I guess it is.
Everyone attacks.
Sure.
1 block as expected with the Acidic Slime and 1/2 mana Titanic Growth on the Elvish Visionary. Shows him 3 forests, and that's game.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just heard from Carlo Tom. He's like, we really need the French to overthink this here.
But you know, it really didn't matter.
Sorry,
they thought
That's
they
very
overthought it,
interesting for him.
and they still came up with the just attacking.
I'm just
so
waiting my
So
congratulations.
now
wait,
Canada
yeah,
is in
Sure.
a
Was waiting
precarious
some cards.
position. They are
You
rooting
wait
for
till
France.
like,
They're
oh,
cheering for
this
France
or
next round.
this or, oh,
They
this.
need France to go 3-0.
Oh, sure.
They need to win,
Fun games, that's
Right.
quite a fun.
and they need everyone else to have lost.
That's
luck for the
a
rest.
very
Bonne chance sur la
lonely
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah.
seat
chance
to
à
be
vous.
in
It's-
as anyone, just rooting for one person and rooting down everyone
Yeah,
else.
yep. You need France to go 3-0, and you need the other 2 teams in your pool to lose.
Wow.
So one of them you're gonna hopefully help lose because you're gonna play them.
Mhm.
But yikes.
Well, here we are again. Rashad Miller, Brian David Marshall. We just saw France defeat Canada. Probably happened before.
Yeah.
In some time, you know, in world history.
But wow, that was
But Canada's back is up against the
they are
wall.
0-2. They need to go 1-2. They need France to go 3-0, and they need the other 2 teams in their pod to go 1-2 or worse.
Right. And on the other hand, France, which is now 2-0, if they go 3-0, then
Right.
they win their pool. 2-1, probably still have a pretty good chance.
France is which spot was France in their pool here? Do we have we have the pools right here. So, or we don't have our pools.
I think we do have the pool. France was 9th.
Okay.
So they had a pretty good position.
Sure.
But you know what? We're going to let the guys in the news desk tell you.
But we're going to let Rich do the math.
Yeah, because that's what he does. That's what he gets the big bucks for.
Let him tell us what needs to happen for Team Canada to advance and for all the other teams to succeed or fail going into the round of 16.
Exactly. He's probably got a pretty graphic for it, too.
Awesome.
So we're going to give it back to the news desk.
Hey, and welcome back to the news desk. My name is Marshall Sutcliffe, and I am joined by Director of R&D, Aaron Forsythe. Now, we're going to get a chance to have a really nice chat with him. We're going to be getting into some depth on M13 on the World Magic Cup. But first, we have updates. We know you want to know what's going on out there in the field. We've got Rich Hagen. He's over at the wall, and he's going to update you right now.
Thanks, guys. Listen, that was a pulsating match we just watched, went all the way deep into the round. And now what we're looking at is only a handful of matches left, 2 or 3 matches left in the round. So let's bring you up to date. 8 pools, remember, 4 teams in each. The top 2 advance. And I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. Seeding really, really matters. Let's see why. Let's take a look at pool number 1. So our number 1 seed was Croatia, Ukraine 16, Singapore 17, Malaysia 32. This result is now in for the full group. And Croatia have won 2-0. They've defeated Ukraine this round. The top 2 seeds played this round. Bottom 2 seeds played each other. The last round will be 2v3, 4v1. By the fact that they are 2-0, Croatia, led by Gregor Petric, Maritic, Toni Portolan and Stepan Sušić, they are through. That you see there, our asterisk, they are advanced to the next stage, but the next round is still huge for them because seeding, everyone gets reseeded for the top 16 this afternoon when Team Constructed will be the format. Let's take you to pool number 2. What do we have? Well, this was the awkward one because we had that draw, remember, last round. The Slovak Republic drew with Poland in round 1. This time around, the top 2 seeds, Slovak Republic, played against Peru, and Robert Jerkovic and friends, Ivan Floch and Philip Vallis, the team, with Patrick Surab, the head cheerleader, on the sidelines. They have won. They go up to 12 points. Peru, 0-2. Looks like the dream kind of over for Peru. They will play Poland in the last round. Meanwhile, the Dominican Republic, the dream's still alive for them. They face the giants of the Slovak Republic in the final round. If the Dominican Republic can turn those 9 points into 18 points, they're going to see themselves all the way into the next round, which would be a fantastic achievement. Pool 3. Now, this is getting kind of interesting. You see, the United States, they played Estonia, and Estonia beat the USA 2-0. Brian Kibler's match was not relevant in that one. Oliver Ox, Hannes Karem, Tarvi Ludvi, the Estonian team. On the sly, they're quite good. Not a team that many people know about. Hannes Karem, top 8 of worlds in 2008 at Memphis, of course. So the US are 1-1. Estonia, there's the asterisk that means they're through to the next stage of pool play. Brazil are 1-1. Greece 0-2. Now, the interesting thing here, Greece will be playing the United States in the last round. Greece cannot make it through because even if they get to 1-2, that'd be 9 points. They would still be underneath tie breaks on people at the same record. So, United States playing Greece, wouldn't it be great for the United States if Greece said, fair enough, we can't win this, but you still can. But maybe they're forced to play. We wait and see what happens in that round. On we go. Pool 4, Chinese Taipei, congratulations to them. They were the top seed. They have defeated Portugal, so Portugal dropped to 1-1. Then you've got Sweden at 0-2. Austria won the battle of the 2 bottom seeds this round. Austria advanced. They get themselves up to 9 points here, which means that if they can take out Chinese Taipei in the last round, it could be a real clincher of 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Because if Portugal defeats Sweden in the last round, they'll go to 18. If Austria defeat Chinese Taipei, Austria will go to 18. Chinese Taipei will already be on the 18 points they have right now. But at that point, Austria, they need help because even if they win against Chinese Taipei, if Portugal beats Sweden in the last round, it will be Austria who miss out heartbreakingly on the seeding tiebreaker. Let's take you to pool number 5. Argentina, wow, wheels coming off for the number 1 seed here, 0-2. But all is not lost. It is possible that you could end up with Finland being 3-0. You could end up with a bunch of 1 and 2s, and yet again, seeding could really matter. Argentina could yet make it through, but they are currently in deep trouble. Norway 1 and 1, Finland 2 and 0, well done to them, and Slovenia at 1 and 1, with Slovenia looking to get in by defeating Argentina in the last round. Let's take you to pool number 6. Well, we're still waiting for a result here from the bottom 2. Spain and Switzerland, didn't expect them to be the bottom 2 seeds coming in. Scotland, congratulations, Scotland the Brave. Andy Morrison, Stephen Murray, Brad Barkley, Chris Davey on the sidelines. They have monstered their way through the morning in draft. I got a chance to look at their decks. They're very, very good. It's no surprise that they've gone 2 and 0. Hungary now 0 and 2. They will play against Spain in the last round, and Switzerland will face the Scots, who are already in. But we still don't know whether Switzerland will be in great shape to join Scotland. Let's move on. Pool number 7. This is where we had the Philippines and Uruguay, the top 2 seeds. They won their first match each. Now they face each other. They're still playing as the time ticks down on the round. Romania at 0 and 2, and the Netherlands creeping back into it, 1 and 1, Jelga Wiegersma. But because they're the bottom seeds, they may need some help. Last pool, let's see what we've got. Pool 8, and it's Canada. They are still going in the big, big battle, Canada-France. That's, of course, what you've just watched out on air. We haven't yet had a chance to update that here. Meanwhile, Puerto Rico, Marino Dudong, they are up to 2 and 0, 18 points. Bolivia eliminated now. Their dream is over. Commiserations to all of you in La Paz, enjoying the coverage. We know you've had a great run, and thanks for being part of the World Magic Cup 2012. All right. That's as far as we've got. We've still got like 2 or 3 results to bring in. We'll bring those to you when we get them. But you know what, guys? I want to ask Aaron a question. Aaron, I have to ask you.
Yes.
Obviously, you're an American. That means you cheer for Team America.
Yes.
Or maybe Russia if you're secretly a communist. I don't know. But somewhere in there's got to be a team that you kind of secretly root for. The sort of super secret sleeper Forsythe pick.
Yeah.
So who would that be?
It's Scotland.
Really?
This year, yeah.
Why?
That's my heritage is Scottish. My last name is Scottish. And it was a big deal when we made a decision to not have the UK team work this year as it had in the past, because we know that each of those countries, and they are countries, people that don't know that, the UK is made up of 4 different distinct countries. They have their own pride, and they want to play for their individual country. And so, it was great to see Scotland show that it was, a good decision on our part to say, you each get to do it your own way and play with your own team.
Yeah, and they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, they are. It's a surprise, and it's great.
Marshall,
He's mine.
I'll leave you to it. Thanks a lot, Royce.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi there.
I'm really happy to have some time to chat with you, because I could probably talk to you for a couple of days straight, let's just be honest. But we've got a couple of segments here, we're going to get down to it. So the first thing that I wanted to start talking about was what we're doing here this weekend, which is the World Magic Cup.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first of the new format. Things are totally different. Can you talk us through a little bit of the genesis and sort of the push that we've been seeing for team play from Wizards?
Sure. Well, when we were looking to replace the old World Championship, we came up with 2 tournaments that, in my mind, do the job of what the World Championship was trying to do better.
Okay.
One was the Players' Championship, which is coming up
a couple of weeks,
and that is to figure out, take the best individual players of the year and have a tournament that is to decide, who's the best of them.
I cannot wait for that.
And then the team, to see which is the best country was the point of this tournament. That has always been part of Worlds. It's kind of always been a side dish on the old Worlds. It never got the attention that I felt it deserved.
Because there was an individual and a team competition.
Right, and the team thing often got put off to the side. And when I was playing, and I was on the U.S. team back in 2000, it had its own day. That got changed around where team play was happening at the end of the individual days. It just kept getting kind of marginalized. People weren't invested in it, and it wasn't getting the eyeballs on the website. And I thought, this is really awesome when it works well, and I want to see a way to bring that back.
Yeah.
And we heard from all these other countries that, Worlds was great for us because it let us, we're from a small country, it let us come and compete on the big stage and battle it out with the big guys. And we wanted to have something that did that. And this thing has, done that in spades.
There's actually 71 countries competing here.
Right, and when I look at the list of countries that made day 2, I mean, there's essentially no correlation between the size of the country, the amount of Magic players in the country, the amount of cards that we sell in the country, to how they did. It just says to me how far the world has come at getting better and better at Magic. 10 or 15 years ago, this would never have happened. There would have been, you know, a half dozen powerhouses. They would have all gotten through. These little countries like Dominican Republic or Uruguay, there's just no way you would have ever seen them be able to put up a decent showing on the world stage. And now that they have, like, just Magic has grown to such a level, and even these little countries that we don't think about when we think about Magic playing countries, when they're here, they're hanging, you know, they are hanging with the big boys.
Absolutely, and we've seen that here today. There's been some upsets, and yeah, so we're gonna hopefully Team USA will pull out of the situation that they're in now.
We were sitting in a room back at Wizards, and, you know, it was myself and Helene Bergeau and Scott Larrabee and Mike Turian and Eric Lauer, our kind of resident math genius, was talking about putting this tournament together, and we were trying to draw on soccer and you know, what worked at the Worlds before, and putting all these pieces together. We came up with you know, this tournament is pretty complicated compared to other tournaments, the way things break down and points matter, and there's pools and seeds and all that.
For sure.
But it's awesome watching it kind of come to life. We were hoping this is what it would do, and like you have this drama of who's going to make it and who's not going to make it. You know who you have to play and all these things like that, just like they do in the Soccer World Cup and things like that. And we hope that as people learn how the system works, give it a year, and we'll, you know, a year of conversation about how it went down, they'll come into it next year knowing, like, here are the rules, here this is going to play out, and it'll be even more exciting next time. Yeah,
that's been one of our goals on the coverage team, is to kind of get this information out. You know, because this tournament is unique to what we've had before, so it's definitely one of these things that, as each stage goes by, you're kind of, and, you know, and figuring out what the most important things are and what's not. So I think that's going to be a big push. Now, can you talk to us a little bit about team play in general? I know that your history on the Pro Tour involved team play.
Yeah.
We've also got a GP coming up in San Jose that's going to be a team GP. Can you talk to us a little bit about teams?
I played in the first 3 team Pro Tours. That was back when it was team Seale deck at the beginning, 3-man teams, team Seale deck at the beginning, and then team Rochester draft, which was the format where
something
the 3 team members sit on each side of the table. We open up a booster pack and lay all the cards out. No talking, but like then we, you know, build our decks face up. Draft face ups, and then we play the person opposite you, so that you know that you play 1 match each.
And that's 3 packs still, just like a normal booster draft.
So I know that I'm playing the guy diagonally from me, and my teammate in the middle is playing the guy across. And it was very fascinating, skill-intensive format. Because you're like, he's playing black, so I want to take Swamp Walkers really high. There was all that kind of like trying to not fall into traps and where there's cards that are super good against you. Very, very skill-intensive. A lot of the guys that were good back then, you know, reminisce fondly about how awesome that format was. And the truth of it is, it was great for that crowd. Nobody played that format outside of that event. You wouldn't have your buddies over on Friday night to do a team Rochester drill? And no one did it in the store. Like, Rochester in general is a very unforgiving format. Everything's face up. Everyone can see everything you're doing. Booster draft, you have that kind of moment of privacy where it's like, well, I take what I want, that's fine. But you know, every move you make is there for the world to see. It's recorded. You can point at it. People can chuckle when you make a bad pick. Whatever. Your teammates can start flipping out on you when you pick the wrong card.
They can't say anything.
So it was that.
Give you the look.
There's that problem. The format is very skill intensive, and like it's very, very. It chews through booster packs at an incredibly high rate to play 1 match of Magic, basically. Like, you're using an entire booster draft or a 6-man booster draft worth of packs to play 1 match. So you play the guy diagonal to you, and then that's over. You're done. That's the round. So it just wasn't practical for people at home or in stores to play this way. So we kind of abandoned that, and that was kind of the death of the Team Pro Tour. Just because, like, it wasn't getting eyeballs for us. It wasn't relevant to the community at large as a format. Which is a great thing that we've been doing with the Pro Tour more recently is these formats people want to play. We're putting up formats people enjoy. That's why they're watching. That's why they're going home building the decks or engaging in the draft formats. Yeah, there's some tie-ins to F&M I've seen so that people can actually play these at local events. So we tried Two-Headed Giant. Because we knew that was being played in stores and casually and all over the world and at home and whatever. So we thought that may be a team format relevant to the audience at large that the pros might still enjoy. But that format doesn't hold up well under the scrutiny of pro-level play. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, the Sliver deck that was drafted to win the Time Spiral Team Pro Tour is kind of
the Jacob Van Lunen company.
talked about even today as just kind of like what was wrong with that format. You know, just how things can degenerate very quickly in one direction or another, and it's hard to combat that because you don't want to water down your deck to hate draft the other team, so you just let them have all the slivers, and suddenly you lose horribly.
Right.
So that format didn't hold up either. So teams has been on hiatus for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Now, when I played on the U.S. team back in 2000 with John Finkel, we had team sealed as a team format back then.
Okay, and is that the same that we're doing here?
It was 4-person.
It was 4-person.
So it was even more cards and more decks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like that, and it's a fun exercise, and it's a super cool dynamic to have a table full of guys sitting there trying to build these decks.
I mean, I was walking out there in the crowds when they were doing it, and it was insane. I mean, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of pointing, there's disagreements, there's people working well together. You can tell the people that thought about this beforehand versus the ones that are kind of putting stuff together, and there's card swapping, but yeah, it definitely has a lot of dynamicism to it.
You draw on a lot of your normal limited experience, but it also has some new twist to it. It's a lot of fun, and I think people at home understand it, and there's a great dynamic. It's very visual, and it's enjoyable, so we knew we could put that here. Like the problem with Team Pro Tours and Team Grand Prix is we want to have a draft format on day 2, and we just couldn't find the right draft format for those. But we knew we could play sealed here, and it was going to work just fine. So we slotted that in here. We were very excited about it, and I think it's worked out pretty well.
It was awesome.
So I was talking on Twitter with just a bunch of people who wanted to see team events back and just get some ideas. Like, what can we do? We're not going to do Rochester. Some people said just play sealed on both days. I thought it was reasonable. But like, drafting is fun. People do team draft for fun.
Yes.
They do it here at the Pro Tour after hours. They just break off into teams and draft.
That
we
is
wanted
a
to
very
see if we
common
could
occurrence.
put that together somehow in a competitive environment. Now, the thing that works with 3-on-3 booster draft here at the Pro Tour for fun after hours is there's just a gentleman's agreement. We're not going to cheat. We're not going to talk. We're not going to secretly communicate about what we're picking because it's low stakes. But when you suddenly say, all right, now we're going to put a big prize on that.
Yes.
Like, communication becomes an issue to the point where we were just afraid to try it.
Okay.
But, just talking to people, different players, they said, just try it, try it. We'll see what happens. We'll have good judges there. We're going to try it in the United States, in San Jose, coming up after Return to Ravnica comes out. Team sealed day 1. We're going to do 3-on-3 team booster draft day 2, where you sit staggered, A, B, A, B, A, B. No communication. Judges will be watching. I'm sure people are thinking of all the ways they can try to skirt that. It's not going to be worth it to try to skirt that.
Yeah.
We have smart judges. They will figure out what you're doing. So it should work. It should work the way we hope it would work. And then you play 2 out of 3. You'll play a match against the team you drafted against. Best 2 out of 3 wins that. You play a second round against the same team you drafted against. So that you're not just playing 1 round and throwing your deck out. You get to play your deck twice, and then you'll draft against another team and play 2 rounds against them, and then the top 2 will play the finals. So I've heard a lot of good buzz about this. I'm expecting high attendance. I'm hoping that this team sealed coverage we're doing here is going to, excite people to want to go try it. But this could be, between this event and that Grand Prix, could be the opportunity that I and a lot of people that I talk to are looking for to try to reinvigorate teams.
Yeah, I know that you were personally somewhat of a push behind this in Wizards as well, right? Because of your history with it, and just the fact that you guys listen, right? I mean, you said you were on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, hey, Aaron, I want to have a team something. And you're like, okay, mark that one down. And then all of a sudden you get a bunch of them, and you guys actually listen.
Right, and I asked, it was Conley Woods, funny enough, just on Twitter, that came up with the idea of how to do the draft and how to do the rounds that we're going to use. And so, yes, it was not only do people want to do it, but we didn't know how to do it. And just asking people how they think it should run, we got some great feedback. So we do listen. I love Twitter. It's an awesome tool. I do understand that a lot of what I'm getting is just anecdotal, so I don't want to say like 8 people said this, so therefore that's what we should do. But it's a great tool just for getting ideas.
For getting ideas, you can bring them back to the office. You can throw them in front of people and say, "Does this does this float?"
Yep.
And then start going through it. Yeah, I think that I've seen a lot of buzz as well in the Magic community about the GP, and people are excited about this. This is a little bit more exclusive. You had to either be the top pro points getter for your country, or you had to win a World Magic Cup qualifier. So they were a little tougher to get into this, but the GP is just open. Anybody can go. I'm on a team. I'm going to be there, and I know a whole bunch of people are. And I think that it really does add a sweet dynamic to have teams. Now here it's straightforward. you can root for your country. You know, most people just root for the country where they're from, and you have the national pride thing, which is a big deal. I really think it is.
Yes.
And that's fantastic. But as we go over, you get these teams that are going to the GP, and you know, you can pick who you like, right? It's not about where you're from,
right?
But these teams have. I've seen a bunch of the teams. You know, people have been kind of pairing off and you know, going into their groups, and you know, you can pick your favorite pros. You can pick the guys you like. I've seen people with kind of themed teams, you know, where they're like, we're the guys that do this. You know, we stream a lot, or we, you know, and
that's not all upside. Like having been down in the trenches there is a lot of politics. There can be a lot of hurt feelings. Like if there's a 4-man playtest group of all even very, very good pro players,
who doesn't go?
Yeah, like you're not. We've chosen not to include you. It's just a bad thing. It might, you know, it can scar your relationship for a long time.
No, that's true, and that's a really that's
it is.
That
it is just like
work out.
It really like codifies or cements your value in the eyes of your friends, which is just a hard thing for a lot of people to face.
Right,
you know?
because
like we can pretend we're all equals and we can act like we're all equals, but when like the rubber hits the road, it's like we need to pick one person that's not going to be part of this. We pick you. That is a tough thing. So there's that dynamic. That's interesting backstories around.
That,
no, right. I mean, the upsides clearly outweigh the downsides. I'm just pointing out that, you know, there's some drama going on here that I think makes for interesting storytelling as well. It's going to be part of the event. Why isn't this guy playing with them? Like maybe there's an interesting story to that.
Exactly. Now, I just wanted you to give us a quick word. Now, you had actually a lot of success on the Pro Tour, at the Pro Tour level for the team. Weren't you on a team that actually top-8'd twice?
Twice. Yeah, we were the first team to top-8 2 Team Pro Tours.
So can you
quickly surpassed by Phoenix Foundation, which was Kai Boudet and Dirk Babarowski and Marco Bloom. So it was myself, Andrew Cuneo, who has recently kind of come back to Magic.
He has time. Indeed, yeah.
And Andrew Johnson, who was a player from Texas that went to college at Carnegie Mellon. So he was up in Pittsburgh with us. So we were kind of like the B squad to Randy Buehler and Mike Turian and Eric Lauer. Like we were the second generation of players there. And none of us really had any success on the Pro Tour other than in those team events at that time.
So you guys had like
I mean, it just shows that like you can make a team that is better than the sum is better than the individual parts, and I think we were that for sure.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to be sending it back over to Rich. He's got some updates for us. Let's see what's going on the floor, and we're going to come back and talk even more with Aaron. So Rich, let's see what we got.
Okay, so we're going to do this in 2 halves because we don't want to do information overload. I'm lying, we love information overload. But first of all, what we're going to do is bring you all the results, and then we'll toss it back to Marshall and Aaron, and then I'll bring you all the permutations in all the groups just before we start the final round of Team Seale play. So let's take a look at the pods. Here's number 1, Croatia 2-0, safely in with their asterisk. Ukraine 1-1, Singapore 1-1, Malaysia 0-2. Let's take you in to Pool 2. The Slovak Republic, this is the complicated group because of the draw. Slovak Republic 12 points, Poland 12 points, Dominican Republic 9, Peru at 0. Remember, the teams will play 1v4, 2v3. So that's how you can start your own permutations in your head. Dominican Republic about to go Republic on the Slovaks. That's what's coming up. Pool 3, let's see what we've got. United States 1-1, Estonia, you see the asterisk, that means they're in at 2-0. Brazil 1-1, Greece at 0-2, they are done. Let's take you to Pool 4, Chinese Taipei, we know, will be coming back this afternoon. Su Ching Kuo and his cohorts from Chinese Taipei. Portugal, Sweden and Austria. Austria have won, as we'll see later, they're going to need some help from some other countries. Pool 5, Argentina, they're 0-2. Norway 1-1, Finland, well done to them. They're through safely, even though they're the number 3 seed, safely in, and we'll see what happens between Argentina and Slovenia. Argentina still looking for assorted combinations. It needs to be Christmas, it needs to be on a Tuesday, everyone needs to be wearing black shorts, but if all those things happen, Argentina can still make it in. Let's see what happens in 6. Scotland are through, Hungary 0-2, Spain and Switzerland are now at 1-1. Scotland will play Switzerland, Spain will play Hungary in the last round. Pool 7, let's see what we have here. Philippines are through, Uruguay and the Netherlands at 1-1, Romania 0-2, they are eliminated. I can tell you that the Netherlands, bottom seed, remember, number 26, they need help in the last round. They also need to win, that's always a good start. Pool 8, finally, Wow. Wow. This is the first pool that's done and dusted, and you see France with the asterisk through at 2-0, 18 points. Puerto Rico through 2-0, 18 points. Canada and Bolivia are gone. The dream is over. There will be no Canadian miracle this time for Alexander Hayne. Congratulations to them for making it to day 2. But the round of 32 is where the Canadian dream ends this time around. So next time we'll come back, we'll give you all the permutations for the groups. But for now, it's back to Marshall and Aaron Forsythe.
Wow. Whoa. So how do you like that? Did you expect, you know, before showing up here this weekend that we'd see Estonia make it to this stage, nope. Puerto Rico, nope. These guys are all hanging in there too, Malaysia, Peru, Dominican Republic, Chinese Taipei. This is incredible.
It is. I mean, it's kind of what we hoped. We put this together, wanted to put all these small countries on equal footing with the big boys, and
it's worked.
It has.
I mean, they're here and they're actually winning too. It's not like one of these things where like, well, we want to involve the smaller countries, right?
And
then
just kind of as mascots or whatever.
Yeah, like they show up and it's like, okay, cool. No, they're winning. Like they're here, they're on a level, and they're competing. And I think it's just fantastic.
And the goal of the system when we put it together is, you know, we have the Planeswalker points to qualify for the WMCQs.
Yep.
We're hoping that that's going to, you know, generate a kind of a ground level play in the stores in these smaller countries.
Ah, okay.
That's, you know, big picture. The goal of this program is to just, you know, help Magic grow from the bottom up. Right. Even though we're highlighting the very top of the pyramid here, but just like play in your store, get points. You could be this guy, right? You can be one of these guys on one of these teams, on the Puerto Rican team or the Estonian team. Like I bet they never, a year ago, these guys probably had never imagined they'd be here at this point, and they're you know, involved in this kind of thing and in the running to take down some of the US or whatever. Just
and I think it's fantastic that it's a team as well, because it gives you even more incentive. You know, you have people counting on you to practice, to get there, to make the trip, you know, to really make it a priority.
Right. It is being on a team like that, and like I said, I keep referring back to my own experience, but I think it's really been very valuable for me helping to put this thing together. Like when you're there and you're on the US team, just wanting to run and see how your teammates did. How did it go? And then you have all your countrymen that are at the event running up to you and saying, "Did you win? Did you win?" And people really care that you win, you know, because you're doing it for them. You're doing it for their country. And I'm sure the people back home watching the webcast in some of these smaller countries are just going bananas.
Yes,
you know,
especially with these ones that are going through. I mean, these guys are playing with the big boys and winning.
Puerto Rico, or Chinese Taipei or whatever. That's what we're after.
Okay, so I want to transition now to the current state. We are the most recent set right now is M13.
Right.
Now I know for you, that was a year and a half ago.
Right.
You know, so I'm gonna ask you
past that when I'm thinking about day to day.
I'm gonna be picking your brain about stuff that you worked on a while ago, but you're a smart guy. You can hang. You're okay.
Okay, I got it.
So you were on the design team for M13.
Yep.
Now, you've done development work in R&D, and you're also the director. So I know that you'll dip your toe in when you can, because you have a lot of responsibilities.
Right.
Can you talk to us a little bit about how design went, and then I'm going to ask you some questions about after development or as it went through development as well.
Yeah, I've been on the design team for the M sets since they started with M10. I led M10 and M11, then I was on M12 and M13. I actually took a break from the design for M14, and I was on a development team for that instead. So I've had my hand in all the core sets we've done so far. It's interesting because when you think of the designers in Wizards R&D, it's Mark Rosewater, it's Ken Nagel, it's Ethan Fleischer, it's Mark Gottlieb. Those guys typically are the ones leading what we call the expert level expansions, the blocks. And it's different people that I'm using on the core sets. So I led 2 of them, like I said. Mark Globus, who's the producer, who's in R&D, he's led 2 of them. And then Doug Beyer, who's a creative guy, he's names and flavor text, was actually the lead designer for M13. Wow, so I'm kind of using just a different mental space of people to put these core sets together. It's a whole different set of problems than trying to make Innistrad come to life. You know, trying to make this very like baseline fantasy, but still good gameplay.
Yeah.
It's just a different mental space, so it's good to have a different crew that's thinking about that from year to year. And it's a challenge because we want to have pacifism and we want to have some giant growth effect. We want to have all these other things, but we need it to feel different. Like we want you to want to try it out. having played the 3 before it, like, why would I want to try this out?
Right.
But we don't want to deviate too far because you start alienating the people that it's kind of meant for, which is the people that are coming to the game after playing Duels of the Planeswalkers,
right.
or whatever way we can to get new people into the game. This is a great first set for them to try out because it's got, you know, the minimum number of keyword mechanics, and it's got stuff they recognize, lots of angels and basilisks or whatever, just things they may have heard of prior to playing Magic. But we have to make it different for the enfranchised player.
For me.
Right, for you. For me. Like,
yeah,
I want to play it too.
Right.
And so it's just these little things like putting in the ring cycle instead of the Lucky Charms this time. You know, this is a new way to make a cycle of color-related artifacts at Uncommon that do a totally different thing than it did last time. Or the 5 legends at Rare that we used for the intro packs, and they're in duels as characters. But like they had a whole new kind of thing to think about in this format, or the off-color activations.
Was that
Flint Hoof
was that a battle in R&D?
No, I mean
is that pushing it too far for core set to have different colored mana symbols on? Like,
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, if things start pushing it too far, we have this overwhelming number of new things that you're doing. But I think each set can have this. It's showing you this. It's showing you that. So we got the cycle we got rid of that was in that space before was the Celestial Purge, Flash Freeze, color hoser cycle. We specifically wanted to boot those out of standard going into Ravnica because those cards are very, very good against gold cards.
Against gold cards, okay.
Right? It's just like Deathmark kills an extra percentage of creatures kind of by accident because they also happen to, it's red-white, you know, so your red aggro deck suddenly has all these white creatures in it. So we want to get rid of those. We still wanted to show relationships between the colors, like which ones are friends and which ones are enemies, so we look back at like Sedge Troll and Kurdape and some of these cards that have been in the core set before, and said we could do a cool cycle out of those. And I think that worked out really well. But, you know, that's just an M13 thing. I don't think they'll be back, or maybe they'll be back in a few years, but, you know, just cycling through. Then we have Nicol Bolas, the first gold card we ever put in a core set, and I think he is worthy of that distinction.
I think so, too. And I think that's one that people grasp, right? They see that, and they're like, wow! You know, I mean, it's just, I can't imagine being a relatively new player. So what is this game all about? And cracking a pack and getting a Nicol Bolas. It's a different, I mean, it's actually gold, and you're just like, wow! Yeah, I mean, that thing is just a big standout guy.
Right. So people often say, why don't you put gold cards in the core set? And it's not necessarily because we think it's too complicated. I mean, there is some confusion, especially with cards like Doomblade. Like, this guy isn't black, he's gold. You know, I can kill him. No, he's black. And that rule isn't explained clearly, but that's learnable.
Yes.
We don't want to put gold cards in core sets because we like it when people get excited about Ravnica. Right. Like gold it's cool because it's not there all the time. Right. If every Magic set had 30 gold cards in it, well then Ravnica would just, I mean, Ravnica would still be cool for other reasons, but it would lose a lot of its luster that we like to preserve. So it's just a matter of us, it's a constant struggle for us to give people what they want, but at the same time dole things out in a way that can keep the excitement level where it needs to be.
Seems like a very fine balance to me.
Right. So I imagine nothing's written down right now, but I imagine we'll try a cycle of gold cards at some point in the core set, just because we're going to need to keep giving them their own identity and their own little shticks, and that's one that'll work at some point. But yes, it's a challenge, especially because we want to keep some number of the cards the same from year to year, but we also want to change stuff up a lot. Now, Zach Hill was the lead developer for M13, and he did a great job. He really challenged some of our assumptions about how much of the set needs to be like the last one. We kind of had a baseline that like M11 had a lot of cards that were in M10, and M12 had a lot of cards in M11, and Zach said, I want to change it more. I want M13 to be more different than M12.
Okay.
And that's,
we're going to talk about that in just a second, because right now we have some updates.
Awesome. I'll talk all day.
From this guy.
Okay, brace yourself.
Uh-oh.
we resurrected Einstein for all this. I'd like to complain bitterly. How can you have devised a system for team play where only 14 of the 16 matches matter in the last round? For the love of God, Aaron, that is shameful.
It's a work in progress.
Let's get you over to the board and let's show you what is going to count over here. All right, so we'll do this slowly. Pool number 1 looks like this. Croatia are in. This is actually quite a simple pool. The Ukraine will play Singapore, win and in. It's for all the marbles, no other permutations. Singapore, Ukraine, marquee Magic. Let's move to pool number 2. In pool number 2, who allowed draws? Here we go. Slovak Republic play Dominican Republic, that's win and in. For Poland, this is what you need to happen. If you win, and even if you lose, as long as the Slovak Republic win, you can still make it in. Peru, done, I'm afraid. So for Poland, you need a win and Slovak Republic to win. Let's take you to pool number 3. Estonia, we know, are already through. Now, this is not good news for Brazil, the permutations here. The USA are in with a win over Greece. Who knows whether Greece will even sleeve up their cards for this final round? We don't know that yet. But even if they do, for Brazil, what they require is they need the USA to be defeated by Greece, and then, of course, they need to take care of business themselves against Estonia, who are already through. So, Brazil, your new best friends, Greece. Let's move on to pool number 4. So Portugal, they play Sweden. Portugal will be in to join Chinese Taipei if Portugal win. However, they actually have a chance even if they lose. If they lose and Chinese Taipei defeat Austria, that will be enough. So the permutations for Austria, if you're Helmut Sommersberger sitting at home, long-term pro, rooting for Austria, your boys have to beat Chinese Taipei and then pray that Sweden, already out, can do you a favor and beat Portugal. Let's move to pool number 5. Argentina, they're at 0-2. I can tell you, they still have chances. Here's how it works. Norway play Finland. Finland already in. 1 from 3 to join them. Norway, if they win, they're in. So if Norway defeat Finland, the sort of Scandinavian alliance will advance to the top 16. Slovenia, 1-1 right now. If they defeat Argentina and Finland beat Norway, do them a favor, that's how Slovenia get in. And Argentina, the top seed at 0-2, well, of course, they have to beat Slovenia. That's the first stage of business. And again, they need a Finland win over Norway. So Finland, lots of people around the world are rooting for you here in the final round of team play. Let's take you to pool 6. Scotland already through. Hungary. They have a chance, but first of all, let's do the easy one. If Spain win by beating Hungary, Spain are in. Joel Calafell and friends, you are on your way. All you have to do is defeat Hungary in team play. For Switzerland, you need to beat Scotland, who are already through, and then if Hungary win as well, you will make it in. As for Hungary, currently 0-2 in last place in the group, but still with chances, you need a win and Scotland to beat Switzerland. So that's the scenario in pool 6. Pool number 7, here we go. Philippines, already through. If Uruguay beat Romania, who are already out, Uruguay with a win over Romania, Uruguay go through with the Philippines. So what's the scenario for the Netherlands? The Netherlands have to beat the Philippines, that's stage 1, and then they need a favor from Romania, Alexander Dimitriou and co, to defeat the Uruguayans in their final match. And thank the Lord, there's a pool that's already sorted. Canada gone, Bolivia gone, Puerto Rico and France, they are through. And they will look at each other and go, congratulations, we'll see you this afternoon, but they have to play because seeding really, really matters. Did I mention that seeding really matters? Let's take you to the final round of Team Sealed here at the World Magic Cup 2012.
Ready.
Hey! Here we are back in the booth. Rashad Miller, Brian David Marshall here, ready for many, many minutes. We've been here ready.
Really? Just waiting for the action to come to us.
Just waiting.
Sitting here.
So we are going to have the battle of the Slovak Republic versus the Dominican Republic. It's not a war, but you know, it's kind of, it could be. Sounds
Battle
like
of the Republics.
Yep. So in the seat A's, we have Jaime Castellanos.
Right. So interestingly, just to preface this, the Slovak Republic and Poland took a draw.
Wait a minute. I didn't see any draws in any of the charts and things that I was shown during the meetings.
Dudes took a draw. I mean, they didn't take it. It was.
It just happened.
It sounded like they just ended up there. So what that means is, at 12, the Slovak Republic has 12 points.
Right.
It means Poland has 12 points.
Right.
Peru, they kind of ran out of gas today. They don't have any points. The Dominican Republic has 9 points. If the Dominican Republic wins here, they end up with 18 points and a spot in the round of 16.
That's really what you want.
Right.
A spot in the round of 16.
And to be honest, I mean, the Slovak Republic kind of needs the win here themselves to advance.
Usually everyone needs to win, especially if that's the match we're going to be looking at.
Well, again, Slovak Republic was the top seed in this pod, so.
Okay.
But if they lose here, they're at 12, and then you would have possibly things get wonky.
Things get all mathy and stuff, and that's what Rich is for, crunching all the numbers. He's probably got them all crunched. He's got 12 different graphics for every permutation.
This is definitely an outlier in the different maths that have been done.
Yes. Okay, so we don't have deck lists yet. Oh man,
no, they're coming. They're on their way.
I've been spoiled by having deck lists already, but okay. So Team Dominican Republic, Jaime Castellanos, Ronald Rodriguez, and Pedro Papatera, and Team Slovak Republic, Ivan Flock, Robert Jurkovic, and Filip Vali.
Right. I know a couple of Magic players back in New York have been cheering on for the Dominican Republic. Big Dominican community in the New York area. So Chris Calcano was cheering on the Dominican team on Twitter earlier.
In all caps, I assume.
All caps.
Okay, because that's the only way.
Several number ones and an exclamation point and the word one.
in all caps.
Yeah.
So it looks like the players are almost ready. Okay, let's say if we have to guess.
But both these players are mulliganing, by the way. Robert Jurkovic and Rodriguez are going down to 6 years.
Yeah, and I remember seeing Robert Jurkovic a lot at the last Pro Tour Everton Restored. He had that. I don't know if it was the same draft, but both of his green, blue, like aggro decks where he just had 4 of this and 3 of that, and was just demolishing everybody left and right. I'm just thinking of my fond memories in the booth with you, you, and Robert Jurkovic. So let's see if we can have another one. We're gonna have Robert Jurkovic. He's gonna be playing against Ronald Rodriguez. This is round 3 of Pool Stage 1. Team Seale deck. Let's hit the floor.